Hey everybody at Bradley Elementary in Conroe, Texas. How are you? Hey, Ashley Wright got in touch with me and she made a request that I put out a video for y'all because I know this year is tough. Look, teachers everywhere are feeling this. I go all over the country speaking to teachers and educators and students about being a coffee bean because the world is a pot of boiling water right now. But especially on teachers, it's hard. Listen, and I get this. I've got a 9-year-old stepdaughter that's in the 3rd grade. It's hard on her teachers. It's hard on her. But we've got to get this together. We've got to come together and understand that even though it's tough right now, and even though the adversity seems like it's at its highest level, that inside of every adverse, dark, tragic situation, there's opportunities. And I know it seems like a lot to tell you that there's an opportunity in what you're doing right now, but trust me, there is. And I learned this lesson when I was inside of a maximum security prison serving a life sentence. And I would get up every day in this dungeon, this black hole of a place, the hardest place I've ever been in my life. And my feet would hit the cold concrete floor of the prison cell. And I'd be thankful. I'd wake up with a feeling of gratitude for each new day that I could work on myself and find the opportunities in life. And then I would just look for ways that I could help others out. There's a story I want to share with y'all about a guy named Mr. Rogers. And I know that some of y'all have seen Mr. Rogers. You know, he had a children's television show, and I used to watch it all the time growing up. Mr. Rogers told a story about before he was Mr. Rogers, the children's television show guy. He was a Presbyterian minister, and this is back in the 60s. And he said he went to a church service one Sunday, and there was a substitute preacher that gave a sermon that day. And he said he sat through this guy's sermon, and at the end of this guy's sermon, he thought to himself, that was the worst sermon I've ever heard. He said it was terrible, it was awful. He said this guy's sermon was so bad it almost put him to sleep. And it went against all the rules of giving a good sermon. And just as Mr. Rogers was about to turn to the little old lady next to him and tell her how bad this guy's sermon was, how awful this guy was, he stopped. He bit his tongue. Because the woman next to him, she was in tears. She was in tears, and she turned to Mr. Rogers and she said, that was the most beautiful sermon I've ever heard. She said it was the absolute right thing I needed to hear at the absolute right time in my life. She said, I'll never forget where I was this day that I heard this sermon. And that's when Mr. Rogers realized that each and every one of us, even that preacher who he thought was so awful, each and every one of us has the power to profoundly impact human lives in a way that we can't even imagine. But he learned another very important lesson that day. He learned that while he was coming in judgment, that little old lady was coming in need. In need. Right now, so many people in our country are coming in need. So many people in Conroe are coming in need. So many people at Bradley Elementary are coming in need. And it's up to us to find out how to meet those needs head on. And if we go around looking for ways to meet the needs of others and help other people, well, that's called servant leadership. And servant leadership is the secret to life. Servant leadership is helping other people achieve their goals. And y'all are teachers, educators, and administrators. Y'all are the epitome of servant leadership. So let's not forget that as we face these struggles and this adversity right now, that we can go out there every day and find others to help. And let me tell you something else that happens when you help other people. When you put yourself in other people, when you pour yourself into others, you take yourself outside your own problems and you kind of forget how bad your problems are or how bad you think they are when you're helping others. So let's go out there. Let's find a way to be servant leaders, especially in the days of stuff. Put on a smile. Smile every single day, especially when it's hard. Smile, because your energy, your smile can change your room. And kids are always looking for those teachers that are smiling. So let's go out there and let's go be a coffee bean. Thank you so much, y'all. Thank you.